guys, welcome back to the Chelsweets kitchen. Today we're going to be making an adorable dinosaur birthday cake for a very special 1-year-old. So we're starting off with my favorite Funfetti vanilla cake base, which we're going to be frosting with a beautiful green buttercream, which I have here. We're going to be adding on some fondant accents, which I painted blue because it is a birthday boy. And then we're going to be adding on an adorable little fondant face onto this cake. So let's get started with the assembly and then we'll get going on the decoration. So just like always, we're starting with a little bit of buttercream on our cake base. So we're going to go ahead and stack our layers with a decent amount of buttercream between each layer. And we're then going to apply a crumb coat. So now that our cake is fully stacked, we're going to apply a thin crumb coat and then we're going to pop this into the freezer to chill. While we wait for our crumb coat to firm up in the freezer, we're going to start to frost the dinosaur's arms. So I've taken an extra layer of cake that I baked and I've cut out 2 small circles, and these are just going to go on the side of the dinosaur's body to be his little arms. So we want these to be domed at the top, so I'm putting an extra dollop of buttercream on top of here just like this. Then we're just going to gently frost down the sides, trying to trap in all those crumbs. So we just want to get the arm coated. Don't worry if it's not perfectly smooth. We're going to apply another layer of frosting, which will help make this have a smoother finish. So now that our crumb coat has chilled, we're going to apply another layer of frosting to smooth out and cover all of these spots where cake might be poking through a little bit. Now to get really smooth sides on a rounded surface, I like to use a flexible spatula, which can also be called a bench scraper. I got mine on Amazon for super cheap. I think it was like $3. But it works wonders when you're trying to frost shapes and especially round surfaces. You can see it just kind of adheres as you go. So try to get it as smooth as you can, and then it doesn't have to be perfect because what we're going to do is we're going to pop this into the freezer to let it firm up one more time, and then we're going to smooth it out using paper towel. So now to smooth out all of these lines that we have here, we're going to take some paper towel and a fondant smoother, and we're going to just rub in circular motions onto the buttercream, which is firmed up from the freezer. To continue to add to the scaly reptile effect of the dinosaur, we're going to take a straw and we're just going to push little indents all onto the cake like this. I'm also going to use some different size circles. So now that we have all of our scales, it's time to attach the little arms that we made earlier. So we'll spin around, we're going to stick them right on the sides. We're going to use 2 skewers to support his arms just to make sure they really stay in place. So now that our dinosaur has his tail, his arms, and his legs on, it's time to put on his stomach, his scales, and his face. So we're going to start off with his cute little tummy, which we have here. I've taken some white fondant and I have painted it with gel food coloring and a little bit of vodka, putting a little bit of frosting on the back of my fondant to help it adhere to the cake. Next up we have our dinosaur's big mouth. So I've taken some black fondant, I've put some white teeth over it, and I also colored a little bit of white fondant pink to be his little tongue. Now that we have his mouth on, we're going to put his eyes on next. So I've just taken some circle cutters and I made a big white circle, a black circle, and then I put a little white circle on to give his eye a little bit more life. So now that our dinosaur's face is on, it's time to put on our little scales. I've taken a small circle cutter, I've cut out circles of white fondant and I then painted them blue, and I'm going to stick them into the cake using little toothpicks. So we're going to put them all along his back, right down the center. So we're going to go right down to his tail and then wrap around. So we're going to start off with the smaller scales and then we're going to move on to some bigger scales as we go. And just like that, our dinosaur cake is complete. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click the like and subscribe button below. To see the recipe for this cake and all of my other sweets, you can visit Chelsweets.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hope to see you guys again soon.